You will probably ask, what is this accordionist doing here? Why is he not in the back room of some cafe playing for drunks? And how do you say petit bourgeois who just need to blow off steam? And I will say, why have you forgotten le balmusette? For this is the popular music. This is the music of our age. This is the music of the people. And so I bring it tonight to votre salon, for you bohemians and intellectuals, so you will not forget the common man. I present to you Musette or Musette.
Hi. That was very beautiful, and it kind of makes me not want to go into religious conflict. My name is Peter Schwartz. I'm a student here. I'm sorry. Can you hear me now? Okay. All right, that's better. Yep. Can everybody hear me? All right. My name is Peter Schwartz. I'm a student pursuing my master's in philosophy, history, and political science, and my field is actually Jean-Paul Sartre and existentialism. The reason why I'm presenting on Pope Pius X is partially because I'm going back to Catholicism and theology in my studies. And since I'm on a very short time limit, I'll just read. A year before Stein's Salon, Pope Pius X, the 257th Pope of the Catholic Church, issued the oath against modernism to be sworn to by all clergy, pastors, confessors, preachers, religious superiors, and professors in philosophical theological seminaries. From the oath, I profess that God, the origin and end of all things, can be known with certainty by the natural light of reason from the created world, that is, from the visible works of creation, as a cause from its effects, and that therefore his existence can also be demonstrated. I submit and adhere to the condemnations, declarations, and all the precepts contained in the encyclical Pascendi Dominici Gregis, which means feeding the flocks. The 28th point in Pius's encyclical states, for the modernists, whether as authors or propagandists, there is nothing stable, nothing immutable in the church. These enemies of divine revelation extol human progress to the skies, and with rash and sacrilegious daring would have it introduced into the Catholic religion, as if religion were not the work of God, but of man, or some kind of philosophical discovery susceptible of perfection by human efforts. But Kant is not necessarily claiming that religion is not the work of God. Kant isn't an atheist. It is Marx, then Lenin, who are the sacrilegious foes of the church. Religion is the opium of the people, the materialist Marx said. In 1919, the Russian religious philosopher Nikolai Berdyaev recalled a lecture at the Moscow Religious Philosophical Academy. One worker read a paper on the gospel in which he affirmed as a scientifically proved fact that the Mother of God was a prostitute and Jesus Christ the illegitimate son of a Roman soldier, a statement that was greeted with wild applause from the audience. Lenin would later deport Berdyaev and some 220 other undesirable intellectuals in 1922 aboard what was called the philosophy steamer. As the synthesis of all heresies, theological and philosophical modernism's questioning of the limits of human reason, can the finite, fallible human being know of a transcendent God? And that's one of the fundamental issues during this period. Resumes a very old quarrel that doesn't even begin with Christianity, but appears with that wonder and amazement in which philosophy is supposed to have originated, with the ancient bored shepherds looking up into the sky. How can we know God through the senses? Into what forms can we translate God, the theological? Can one discern God through Cézanne's eyes? What if the head were cut off, as Nietzsche asked? Would the world disappear? The resurrection of the Savior is not properly a fact of the historical order. It is a fact of merely the supernatural order, neither demonstrated nor demonstrable. That's one of the propositions that the Catholic Church condemned. If the enemy of Pius X and the Catholic Church at this time is Kant, even though Kant and the Church could agree on one point, at least, namely the ineradicable propensity of evil inherent in the human being, then they should brace themselves for Camus, whereas Kant excoriated atheists in the Critique of Pure Reason, even though he declared in another text, nothing straight can be fashioned from something as crooked as humanity. Camus declares this world absurd, without eternal values, Sisyphean, and of the senses. Quote, what I know, what is certain, what I cannot deny, what I cannot reject. This is what counts, the myth of Sisyphus. For Pius, what is certain is that Mary was a virgin, and not Danae impregnated by Zeus as a shower of gold, and what he knows is that he loves Mary, and perhaps what cannot be rejected, however ludicrous it might sound to Catholic theologians, is the possibility that Pius's encyclical is a cruel defense of his love for Mary, worked up against the later existentialist refrain, Simone de Beauvoir's farewell to her lifelong lover, Jean-Paul Sartre, quote, his death separates us, my death will not reunite us.
C'est en pigeon, Joseph.